So, when it comes to boxing, can you explain the difference between like a coach and a trainer?
Yeah, well, sometimes the coach is the trainer, but sometimes when you have a coach and a trainer, the trainer is more hands-on. So they'll do like mitt work, they'll do conditioning stuff with you, and the coach kind of like oversees that process.
How big of an impact would having a bad coach do for your boxing career?
That would be horrible. I mean,
Okay.
very bad. Well, at least for me coming into it, so new. I mean, you'd only be as good as you could be under that coach. So if you have a bad coach, then you're looking terrible out
Got it,
there.
got it. So then what has it meant for you to switch to a new coach? It's been 2.5 weeks into this new process. So how do you feel like you've evolved as a boxer? How do you feel like, going into the future, how that's been a transition that's been beneficial?
Well, I guess I'll start by saying that I've sort of been under three different trainers since I started this. The first one was basically just like a conditioning trainer. I wouldn't really consider him a boxing coach at all, more conditioning coach. And that was a good journey. And then I got under a boxing coach, and that was a good experience as well. I learned a lot as far as what to look for in a coach, and I learned what I wanted as a boxer. And learning more, I ended up transitioning again, like you said, 2.5 weeks ago, under Coach Harold is his name, in Sarasota Boxing Club, and it's been a really good, positive transition for me. As far as boxing goes, I've learned a whole lot in a very short amount of time, and I've like literally seen my skills like elevate very quickly under him. So I'm really happy.
So, if there were like three things that an aspiring boxer should look for in a coach, like
Mm,
what do you feel like? Now, obviously, it might be different depending on people's goals, but
yeah,
like, what are some characteristics you think make a good coach?
that's a good question. For me and the type of person I am, having a coach who is knowledgeable, actually, like with psychology, I think is actually very important because it's such a mental sport. I mean, it's like all mental pretty much, for the most part. So obviously, someone who has experience actually in the ring, who has gone through not just training, not just conditioning, but has actually put the gloves on, got in the ring.
As a boxer.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, the boxer. And then the third thing, something between a mix of having just a good chemistry, but also having, someone who's assertive that will push you through, your limits, because you
Yeah.
need that too.
Yeah, so obviously, like, even if you have a good coach, there's only so far you can get. There's a lot of like personal initiative you have to take. So then in building like this boxing ecosystem in your team, like,
Hmm.
how can people support you in that journey?
They can support me personally. They can go to my website. It's Rock's House, ROCSHOUSE.XYZ. And there's a section under fight, and that's where, people can learn a little bit more, and plug into my YouTube channel. And if they want to support by being a sponsor one time, or, recurring sponsor, they can do that there as well. Follow my Instagram at ASNXO Rocky. YouTube channel is Rock's House, ROC_SHOUSE.
Cool. And then what's one thing that you learned about boxing that you didn't know before? Like a cool fact about boxing.
The cool fact about boxing, that even though you're punching, you're using your hands to punch, you have to know and understand your footwork just as much as you have to understand what to throw. So I guess that's kind of interesting. Like, you focus on your hands, punching, fists, but really it's your footwork that will also, allow you to win.
Yeah, because I mean, I think there's a certain level of like coordination
Mm-hmm.
and syncrasy that goes into the sport of boxing that's
Yeah.
just well beyond just street fighting.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Anything else you want to say?
Thanks for watching.